I'm coming from the company Elmibit. We're the developer behind eVineyard. And yeah, I'm going to speak about the cooperation we have inside eShape between risk cognition and Elmibit. So on this first slide, there is a big scheme, a bit more technical maybe, but not too technical, explaining how our pilot is set up. So we have risk cognition on one end, which is doing all the Earth observation magic, I would say, and providing us eventually with the data through an API that we are then using and trying to somehow mold into something useful for the end users, for the farmers, wine growers in particular. And while this scheme maybe depicts the more, I would say, the technical flow of the information and data, in co-design, actually, the interaction is much more network-like. So we have different actors basically communicating between each other. So first, a little bit about eVineyard. So eVineyard is a solution for the farmers. It's a set of digital tools that assist wine growers in different areas of their work, from providing, for example, traceability of different activities and where they have the assets and how their activities influence the financial and environmental aspects of their operation, to some very practical things. So those tools can also work in concert and as such provide some complete information management platform for the growers, which is currently used in different setups by a few hundreds of growers in more than 25 countries on basically all the wine growing continents at the moment. To get a bit more practical, so this is how the solution looks like. It's looks like a farm management software solution, but of course each of the modules can be used on its own or together. Maybe if I can just interrupt a little bit, there is somebody that seems to have the microphone on, which is coming through. So if
we unmuted him as well, it's coming from Panagiotis, so please. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Sorry for the so inside eShape, what we are working on is speaking about the big picture of co-design activities. We're trying to basically extract value from Earth observation data for the farmers. That's like the very big picture. And the farmers, we at Elmibit, at eVineyard, work with them since 2014 already. And in our view, they are among the most pragmatic people that we know. So if there is a solution that brings them the value that they can see quite immediately or in a quite short time frame, they're going to use it. If they cannot see that, they're probably just going to pass and not return and even not say very good things about it. So this is a very, very important aspect that leads our work here, because one of the main assumptions that we had when going into this pilot and joining the eShape was that we quite clearly know that we can use Earth observation data to support irrigation decisions. So at the moment, we have farmers that have, for example, in situ sensors, wireless sensor devices that measure soil moisture at different depths, which work plug and play with eVineyard, and we have quite a number of farms having that installed. We also have capability to control irrigation through remote wireless irrigation controllers that are also installed on various farms. But for example, in the areas where there are no in situ devices, our assumption is that we can use Earth observation data to basically provide similar quality of decision support and then irrigation control to the farmers as in the areas where we have the sensors. And that was, let's say, the initial scope of work and area of work that we wanted to verify. But of course, in this process, we also started discovering other areas of usage. And throughout this activity, we encountered obviously a couple of challenges. So the first one that we want to verify is how big is the Earth observation data value for the farmers in reality, for our pragmatic farmers, right? We know that there is a relationship between the Earth observation data and in situ data, but while there are many services offering Earth observation data, what we want to measure and also somehow prove is that there is enough quality and also that the data is finally feasible for practical usage on the field. And this is one pretty major challenge to go through that, because on one hand we have in situ data, on the other hand we have Earth observational experts from risk cognition, as well as we know the way of thinking of farmers. We have the farmers in this project, and bringing all that together. What we're doing is we're trying to understand the limitations of the data, as well as the value that the farmers perceive as the real value, and then try to find that intersection in our co-design activity. And of course, finally, we're providing an interface that we're going to show one early, I would say, early stage of this interface, for which one we are also measuring then the farmer interaction to finally have a hard metric of how much they are actually using this. So this is the work in progress of the interface, showing the data from risk cognition. I think risk cognition will speak a bit more about that part. Moving on to the next challenge. So besides irrigation, where else can the value be provided? We know from literature, different marketing materials of different providers of such data, that such data can be used in other vineyard management activities to detect maybe some irregularities and so on. But again, boiling this down to the pragmatic farmer, what they will actually use, where they actually see the value, is the second challenge. And while we speak with the farmers about different ideas, we also gather some requirements and ideas from their side. On the other hand, there are the possibilities of what is actually possible, what is visible, what is the frequency of the data resolution, and so on, coming from, again, the Earth observation experts. And what we're doing here in co-design is trying to match those two and basically come to something that actually provides the real usable value, and is, of course, possible to be reliably done. And the third challenge is, the last, but maybe not the least, and I think risk cognition will be able to speak more about it, Konrad and Gunther, following this presentation, is what's the best connection between the services, because risk cognition is providing this data to us, but we are well aware that we are just one of the consumers of the data. So we need to design jointly this interaction between the systems in a way that it will also ensure wide usage of the data by the systems which are not, for example, farm management systems like ours, and so on. And as this goes on the interface level, it also goes on the level of which data is interesting, right? Because some of the data that we might consume might be interesting for somebody else, and this has to do a lot with probably the sustainability in the long run of the risk cognition service. And with this, I will finalize my part of the presentation and hand over to Konrad and Gunther.